Generic YouTube introduction.
Today I'm going to talk about how to mine IoTeX, how the IoTeX sort of node system works, and the IoTeX delegates program. So let me just read this paragraph first because I think it explains it pretty well. So IoTeX is a decentralized and permissionless network. Anyone may register to become a block producing delegate at any time. The IoTeX network utilizes role DPoS consensus, where 24 of the top 36 community voted delegates are randomly selected to mine blocks every hour. For their services, delegates are rewarded with IoTeX tokens, which they often share with their voters. To be eligible to mine blocks, all delegates must meet the minimum requirements, including self-staking at least 1.2 million IoTeX, receiving at least 2 million total votes, and maintaining a server to prevent any node downtime. The annual hardware costs to operate a delegate node is extremely affordable at about $600 a year. So the hardware costs are quite reasonable. I think the hardest thing is having the 99.9% server uptime and maintaining all that. A lot of people aren't very techy. One solution to that, I'll say that quickly now, I hadn't seen them the other day, is IoTeX FastBlocks, sorry. They basically run the server for you. You go on your website, you can just connect in securely to your node, change, go create node. I think it's about, it says $90 a month, but I think it's going to be $160 a month, which is quite expensive, but they'll do all the IT stuff, they do all the uptime, they'll sort it all out. But yeah, I think that's just another step towards decentralization. So we can close that. What does all this mean? What is all this on about? So with Bitcoin, it utilizes a proof of work system, which means there are loads of people mining, loads of separate miners running, and they are all competing to approve all the transactions to solve that algorithm. So as those transactions are coming through, as that transaction is coming through, all the miners, could be hundreds of them, are all competing together. All the graphics cards competing to solve that one transaction, and that transaction will not go through until that algorithm has been solved. So not only is it not very efficient power-wise, because all of the graphics cards are running at the same time to run the same calculation, but it also can take several hours for that transaction to go through. And that's extremely decentralized because you can never predict where the transaction is going to go. It's a very decentralized system. Some people think it's worth the wait. I think occasionally it might be, but with IoT, with Internet of Things, you don't want to be waiting. You want those machines to be as quick as possible. Now, IoTeX offers a 5-second guaranteed transaction finality time, which I think is amazing. And one of the ways they do that is they offer this proof of stake system. So instead of proving that the work's been done, instead of waiting all those hours and saying, right, I've worked out that algorithm, the transaction can now go through, the miners, they give a deposit almost. So they'll sit there and they'll be sitting on a bunch of tokens, and when that transaction comes in, they approve it straight away with their deposit, and then the tokens that come in, they go into their pocket. And you pay the miner fee, so the tokens they've sent away doesn't include that miner fee, but then they can take their time. They're not competing with anyone else to approve that transaction, and they can take their time. The transaction comes through, they can approve it. It goes onto the blockchain, all nice and done. So that's proof of stake. Now IoTeX goes a step even further, where instead of just sitting on tokens, everyone can stake their tokens to those nodes. ETH does the same thing, but with IoTeX, it's only the most popular nodes approve the transactions. So there's only ever 24 nodes working to run the network. So that means they can be super quick, can be super efficient. They can work together really well. And this is 24 that have randomly selected each epoch. They're randomly selected out of the top 36 voted delegates. So you never know quite who's going to be mining, but you've got a pretty good idea. So it's not as decentralized. Yeah, that's how IoTeX does it. That's how they get the transaction finality time. That's how they get the transaction speed. That's how they keep transaction fees really low. Now, one thing they're running right now is you do get an extra 80 IoTeX per epoch if you are one of these main nodes, one of these consensus nodes. I'm not sure if that runs forever or not, but that's a huge incentive to run nodes right now. So yeah, I hope that clears up a little bit more about how IoTeX works, about how it's different to Bitcoin. And yeah, go buy some IoTeX tokens, go and stake them to a node, and you could earn 5, 6, 7% APR in cryptocurrency. So yeah, get on that. It's way better than the banks. Well, maybe not soon. Right, thanks all for watching.